How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. I'm Luke from Oatmeal Robotics, and welcome to the next episode of Mechanical Mayhem. We have all the fights this time around, so without further ado, let's get right into them. Our first match is going to be Odyssey and Matador. Two very good robots, one a little faster than the other a little bit more controlled. So this is going to be a very interesting battle where speed and power are really going to have a good tussle. Let's go ahead and start off with Odyssey, who's sporting a pretty nice speed stat, but definitely nowhere near as quick as Matador. But they do have very powerful drive with those N10s in the back. They can really push. So if they can get Matador up on those forks and either flip them or just kind of hold them there and push them really good, they should be able to drive upside down. But with Odyssey, it's always been a little touchy, so they don't want to get flipped. Next, we got Matador. Coming off of a really good win against Lightning, they're going back with their forks for this match, so they're going to want to make sure that they can get under Odyssey. Like I said, Odyssey can drive upside down, but it is a little touchy, so if Matador can just keep flipping them, maybe get a little bit of damage just ramming them into the walls, they can absolutely knock something loose. Maybe the hot glue on holding the N10s, if they knock them loose, they might bend up and out the way, and Odyssey would be stuck upside down. So that's probably going to be their strategy. Let's see if they can make it work down at the box. All right, and it looks like Matador's getting into the corner. And it looks like we're about to start this fight. Okay, it looks like we're just going with that. So Matador already doing a circle around Odyssey and flipping him already. Odyssey was looking very well controlled, but already on the ropes now. Let's see if Matador will be kind enough to flip him, show some good sportsmanship, keep the fight going. It looks like they are trying to. Odyssey definitely having not the best time. You could see Odyssey's wheels spinning, but nothing's touching the ground. So it looks like those wheels might have just been a little too small. But Matador continuing to try. It looks like those screws aren't spinning. They've been so damaged at this point, we just decided to stop using them. And it looks like Matador's flipped off their own flippers, so they're going to have to leave Odyssey stranded there. So that was a quick fight, and it looks like Odyssey has been knocked out. So very unfortunate for Odyssey. They are in the losers bracket, so that was the last time we are going to see them. Good job to Matador. Quick win, just doing what they needed to do. Good time to lose your flippers, so now they're going to reinforce that, make sure that doesn't happen again. And Odyssey had a good run fighting against robots like Seizure and Lightning. Not Lightning, but doing pretty good. Anyhow, next up we got Atlantis versus Deadman. Atlantis we haven't seen in a while. Deadman we just saw last episode. So without further ado, these are two very different robots, but this is going to be a very good fight nonetheless. So let's go ahead and start off with Deadman. Coming off of a pretty good win against Topple, although not much of it was seen, unfortunately. They're looking very strong. They're looking very controlled. After their first loss to Bloodlust, they've definitely done a full 180, and they've been hitting hard. They've been keeping their head calm, and they've really been doing exactly what they need to do. But they're fighting Atlantis, who's coming off of a big loss against Pumpkin. They have repaired all the damage, well, except for the superficial, but they've actually downgraded from a drone motor to a platinum motor. And they've cleaned up the drum on how it spins on the axle. So look for the drum to be spinning smoother, but not hitting as hard. It might hit as hard because it's spinning smoother, but let's see what happens down at the box. All right, both of the robots are in the box. The camera angle's a little wonky this time, I feel like, but oh well. There's Marco. And we are off, and you can hear Deadman spinning up. Terrifying sound. But Atlantis just kind of keeping cool. Both of these robots just needing to be calm, be patient. Both of these robots have out of the arena power, or at least knockout power. Good shot there from Atlantis. They just want to kind of lightly touch Deadman's weapon and try to bounce him up like that. That was the perfect shot. And another really good shot. Atlantis is doing exactly what they need to, but you can see Deadman getting a good shot with that kind of really quick turn radius. They could just kind of whip around. But Atlantis now pinning Deadman a little. Deadman clearing some space, and a massive shot sends Deadman up and flying. Atlantis is looking very controlled. This is a completely different Atlantis than we've seen the last two fights. And it looks like they're still on top of Deadman. it looks like they're even quicker. That drone motor might have been taking some energy away from the drive motor, so now Atlantis is a little more responsive. And another really good shot from Atlantis. Deadman going up and flying, bouncing off the walls. But Deadman, definitely, you can't count him out just yet. Just a couple of hits is all they need. We've seen Atlantis being able to get like split open by horizontal spinners. But it's another great hit. And out of the arena from Atlantis. Just absolutely masterclass. Holy cow, what a good fight. Deadman, what a good way to go out, honestly. What a great showing. Atlantis moving on. They're looking completely changed from the start of the season. They may or may not be a genuine contender now with that level of control and aggression. All right, next we got Bastille and Flabbergast. Bastille is somehow still here. And Flabbergast coming off of a devastating loss to Mayhem, but they've put everything back together and they are ready to show up again. So we got Bastille, who is looking pretty durable, coming off of a narrow win against Bullet Ant. They're looking to just kind of get under Flabbergast, keep tossing them up. Of course, Flabbergast has that lifter and that spinner, so they do have to watch out for two different methods of attack. Next, we got Flabbergast, who, like I said, is going to try to lift up Bastille and hit their armor with that spinner. We haven't really seen any robot give a good enough test to the armor of Bastille, so this is going to be the first real test. So let's see how it goes down at the box. All right, both robots are in the arena, and it looks like we are just about to start. And here we go. Right away, Flabbergast getting spun up, but Bastille getting to the backside of Flabbergast. And it looks like Bastille's little forks might actually be a little lower than Flabbergast's lifter. But Flabbergast getting Bastille up and over. Let's see if Bastille can self-right, and yes, they can. They have to be careful, though. We don't really know how durable their flipping arm is, so we don't want them getting flipped over too often. Otherwise, they might not be able to flip back up if that lifter comes off, or that flipper comes off. And then Flabbergast with a nice another little lift and another good lift. And Flabbergast almost flipping themselves over. Twice. 3 times. Okay. 4 times. And it looks like they might be stuck at this point. They might call for an unstick. And it looks like, yep, there they go. And right back to the action. And Flabbergast, oh, they got up on that lifter, but they managed to get away at the last second. But other than Bastille getting to the back of Flabbergast at the very opening of the match, Flabbergast has just looked so controlled. Looks like they're having a little bit of drive problems with that left side drive, but it looks like it's not enough to really hinder their performance this fight. They're just getting to the side. They're getting to all the sides of Bastille that they need to. If they can hit their backside, that lip is good. And a nice shot from Flabbergast's spinner. Rips off one of the sides of Bastille. And a good shot to the back. I was just saying, if they could get a good hit to the back, there's a little lip on the back of Bastille. That could be a really good way to flip them over or something. But a nice another lift, and they flip Bastille over again. Is Bastille going to flip themselves back over? Yes, they do. That reduced weight from the side not being there is definitely going to help himself right now. But Bastille really needs to start doing something to get back in this fight. Flabbergast is just absolutely dominating it. And another good shot from that spinner on Flabbergast. It's really not a big spinner, so you wouldn't think it'd do much, but it really does more than it should. And a nice little clamp from Flabbergast. They're just absolutely displaying all the control in this match. Nice another shot there. And is Bastille moving? Can they drive? It looks like they're flipping. Okay, it looks like they're driving a little now. Yeah, there you go. Now they're back in it. But Flabbergast just keeps on lifting, keeps on doing just enough. They're just getting a little bit of control at a time. A little bit of a... They're just putting on that aggression. They're just non-stop going after Bastille, lift after lift after lift. That's exactly what they need to be doing. Bastille hasn't gotten a single flip. Flabbergast with 3 now. And it looks like Bastille isn't responding anymore. And there they go. They get flipped over again by Flabbergast, showing some good sportsmanship. And it looks like that is going to be the end of the match. I'm sure the judges won't have a hard time here. And they didn't. It goes to Flabbergast very convincingly. Great job to them. Bastille finally going out the tournament. I don't like this robot. I don't know why. Anyhow, Flabbergast, moving on. Like I said, it's pretty much just Mayhem with different specs. That drive might cost them later on in the tournament, but for now, they actually seemed very controlled. It's just that turning speed that's a little slow. But otherwise, if that reliability has been fixed on Flabbergast, it's looking like a very solid robot. It might even be able to contend for the championship. All right, our next match is going to be between Icebreaker and Polymer. Polymer coming off of a win with Terror, another big vertical spinner. Let's see if they can replicate that here against Icebreaker. Icebreaker looking to get some more wins in the tournament. They got one win so far, and then they got a loss, and they're here to keep on winning. So I'm honestly rooting for Icebreaker. It's not my design, but I really like Ice's content, so I hope it keeps going on. But let's look at Polymer first. 4-bar lifter, decently quick, not the most reliable with internal electronics. So we're gonna have to see if it shuts off at any point in the match. But against Terror, they worked for the whole match, so it looks like they might have actually ironed out those issues. Not the most durable robot either. And they're fighting Icebreaker, who is one of the heaviest hitters in this tournament and has been for a long time. They don't have the most reliable drive, but that spinner, just when it starts spinning, it does not stop. So they are looking to just overwhelm Polymer, just a bunch of hits, try to crack the chassis, try to throw them out the arena, do whatever they can. So let's see what happens down at the box. All right, we got the robots in the arena, and it looks like we're about to begin. And right out the gate, Polymer just going, and both robots attacking the screws, okay. And it looks like they're stalemating. You can see Polymer thinking about trying to get a lift, but ultimately deciding might not be the best time. And there goes Icebreaker, destroying the arena for like the third time this tournament in 3 matches. And it looks like Polymer might be in a little good position to try to lift. And now they're in a really bad position. And it looks like Icebreaker spun down for some reason. I'm not sure. And a massive shot. Oh, Polymer bouncing off of the glass. And another really good shot by Icebreaker. It looks like they might have broken. And out of the arena with Polymer with that broken lifter. And then you can see it actually was splayed open in the back. What a showing by Icebreaker, showing why they still have that power stat of 10. Amazing showing. They may or may not actually be a dark horse in this tournament now. If they can keep that drive going, if they can keep their cannon of a weapon pointed at their opponent, they can absolutely make some very big upsets happen here. Really good performance. Good job to them. Next up, we got Roulette versus Ocean Commotion. Roulette we just seen last episode. Ocean Commotion, it's been a couple episodes. I believe Ocean Commotion's last match was against Phantom, where they did lose that match, so they are here in the losers bracket. Roulette just coming off of a win against Chunk, so they are advancing. So that's how these two ended up meeting here. And it's a very interesting matchup. So without further ado, let's actually start with Roulette, who is looking to kind of use that kind of wide, steep wedge to hopefully ramp Ocean Commotion over them and try to flip them, try to clamp down on the thin chassis of Ocean Commotion. They are pretty confident that they can tank at least a couple of hits from that anchor spinner, but we'll have to wait and see. Speaking of Ocean Commotion, this robot is very low, quick, durable, and hits hard. So it is a very tough robot to beat. Of course, they did just come off that loss to Phantom, but that was just a very unfortunate type, like weapon disadvantage on their behalf. So they are looking to rebound. So let's see whether or not they can down at the box. And both of the robots are in the arena. It looks like we're about to begin. So right off the bat, Ocean Commotion just circling, trying to get under Roulette. I forgot its name. And it looks like they are lower than Roulette, so that's pretty good for them. And, okay, guys, you got to stop breaking my screws. Come on, please. Please. Anyhow, it looks like... Oh, no, is the belt... The belt has come off of Ocean Commotion, so this is going to be a battle of control. Ocean Commotion can still drive upside down, but without their weapon, they can't really do any damage. They can't really score much effectiveness, so this is going to be a big battle of control. and you really don't want to go in a battle of control against Roulette. You could see the pin there, but it looks like Ocean Commotion's actually doing just that. They kind of slot in perfectly behind the wedge of Roulette, and they are lower, so they're actually scooping them up very well here. So they're gonna have to keep this up for another about 2-ish minutes. I'll have to wait and see, but they're just driving perfectly here. Roulette just very frustrated, trying to see if they can flip themselves free from the pin, and Ocean Commotion just taking them corner to corner. You can see the one Marco driving Roulette, just very frustrated there. Ocean Commotion backing up now, and going right back for another pin. Roulette trying to get free, and Ocean Commotion letting them, but immediately just getting back to the side, and another pin. It looks like we're in for a very long match of just constant pinning. But if Roulette can start facing Ocean Commotion, they might be able to get under him once or twice. And that's really all that they need to change the tide of the fight. And right there is a great opportunity, but they just can't make it happen. And Ocean Commotion counters with a pin of their own. Roulette actually escapes that one, but Ocean Commotion right back to work. Every time I say it looks like Roulette gets away, Ocean Commotion's already right back on them. And another great pin. It looks like Ocean Commotion really loves that corner. But Roulette looks like they got that lifter all the way down now. You could see, looks like there's a little chunk taken out of that main Uno card from early on in the fight when Ocean Commotion's spinner was spinning. So that is actually helping them out very well here. And it looks like they're pinning Roulette again. We are nearing the end of the fight, probably the last 30 seconds or so. And it's just been Ocean Commotion pulling off a masterclass again of control. That weapon belt really does need to get solved, though, if they are to advance any further into the tournament. And now they got Roulette pinned again. They're under Roulette. And it looks like we are coming to the final seconds of the match. Roulette really doesn't have anything else, and they are stuck under the wall. So one would imagine this is not going to go their way in terms of the judges. And it does not. Ocean Commotion walking away with a very convincing victory. Good job to them. They absolutely deserved it after that amazing driving match. They got some good shots early on, but Roulette, like I said, they have that ablative armor, so they were able to just kind of sponge those hits. But it really did come down to driving. Roulette just wasn't able to position that giant scoop the way that they needed it to, and they paid the price for it. So good job to Ocean Commotion. They are moving on. Roulette, sadly, out of the tournament. All right, our next fight is going to be between Panda and Catastrophe. Not Catastrophe, Centrifuge. There we go. First try. Two black and white robots. Very interesting. Centrifuge will be running the scissor blade setup again. Panda, I believe they are running those thicker like piano key things where it's like all one solid piece. So that is going to be a very interesting thing to see which robot comes out on top with that. Panda looking to just kind of get under Centrifuge. They do have to watch out for those long forks. Centrifuge is very much a control robot first, and then a overhead spinner second. So Panda's going to have to see if they can flip Centrifuge, then that's an easy win to the fight, quick end. But if not, then they are going to have a very tough match for control. Centrifuge did just sustain a lot of damage, but they have repaired it fully after Tungsten. And Centrifuge, like I said, they just sustained damage, but it's all back in form now. That spinner definitely not spinning as hard or as fast as it should be. But they are, like I said, a control robot first, so they are going to just look to corral Panda, just kind of smother them. That wide fork stance, kind of acting like a dustpan, kind of like Sawblaze. So this is going to be a very interesting match for control more than anything. So let's see how that goes down at the box. Both of the robots are in the arena, and here we go. So right away we could see the clear speed advantage where Panda is a lot zippier than Centrifuge, but Centrifuge does have that added bonus of the overhead bar to kind of swat away Panda. But Panda with a nice little lift and pin in the corner. Centrifuge able to finally get away after Panda backs up. And we could see that Centrifuge is getting under those black sections on Panda. but Panda is getting to the side, and ooh, really good lift from Panda. They are definitely getting to the side of Centrifuge, and they can get under the larger wedge that goes around the entire robot. But nice little pin there from Centrifuge, and it looks like they're attacking the wall. Yeah, the problem with the forks is they very easily tend to slot under the wall, but they can get free pretty quick. But that looks like a really bad place to be if you're Centrifuge. They might not be able to come back from that. They are all the way under. Those forks are about, I don't know, a couple inches long. And they just got them all the way stuck under there. I don't even think Panda can free them if they tried. And it looks like they are trying. But it looks like that is going to be, that's going to be Centrifuge getting counted out. And it looks like they're starting to get free, but they're not moving anymore. And it looks like that is going to be the match. So good job to Panda. Just kind of staying out the way and letting Centrifuge destroy itself. That tends to work more often than not. Anyhow, our next match is going to be between Bloodlust and Executioner. These are both from Oof Robotics. So he's going to win this match no matter what. But he is also going to lose this match no matter what. So we have two very different designs, but both with a Bite Force base. Very similar paint jobs as well, and two long forks. So these are very similar designs, but the only big difference is that spinner on each of these robots. So without further ado, let's tackle the bigger spinner first, which I would arguably say is Bloodlust. So this robot's been having some issues with the batteries trying to push out the battery tray, which is high centering it. I thought I fixed it last time, but this time I went through and I actually glued the batteries into the robot, so that can't happen anymore. So their drive is going to be able to be solid for this whole fight now. So really they just need that weapon to take it to task with Executioner. Maybe some good weapon-on-weapon shots, but the drive is no longer an issue with this robot, so look for a really good boost in performance from Bloodlust. All right, next up we got Executioner. This is another Oof Robotics robot, very similar to Bloodlust, except they don't have the battery tray issue. So they are a little frailer, but they can still deliver a good shot. So hopefully they can make this fight last not too long so that they don't take too much damage. But this is do or die, so they really have to go all out. So let's see whether or not they can kind of go toe-to-toe with their big brother Bloodlust, or if they'll just come up short. Let's see down at the box. All right, both of the robots are in the arena, and it looks like we are about to begin. So right out the gate, Bloodlust just kind of comes to the middle of the box, spins up a little more, and then goes head on. Looks like both robots are just kind of feeling each other out, spinning up. Looks like Bloodlust is a little quicker than Executioner here. So looks like they're just kind of trying to take the time to spin up. And it looks like Executioner stopped spinning for a minute. I wonder if those supports were damaged. And good shot there from Bloodlust. And another sending Executioner stuck into the wall. And a nice shot on that wheel. But it looks like Executioner kind of escaped that exchange relatively unscathed. And they're now kind of just pinning Bloodlust. It's like watching two gerbils in a cage. Both robots spinning up. A nice shot from Bloodlust. It looks like Bloodlust actually went with their disc instead of that metal bar. And it looks like they've taken off one of the forks from Executioner, and they've damaged that weapon. Looks like that entire side is coming undone on Executioner. That support is no longer attached to the frame. So looks like Executioner has the weapon kind of touching the back of the robot now, so it won't be spinning up anymore. But Bloodlust looking to get stuck for a second under that wall, but they've freed themselves. And it looks like they're just hitting Executioner, and Executioner's fork keeps getting stuck under the arena. But you gotta think Executioner is kind of just a sitting duck here, unless they can get that fork into play. Bloodlust is looking a lot more solid for their, the last 2 minutes of this match. Well, not 2 minutes, actually, we're coming up probably about 75%, 80% of the way through the match. And it looks like they're stuck again. Bloodlust gonna let themselves spin up and then deliver a big old hit. Or a couple of medium hits, I guess. But it looks like Executioner might not be able to free themselves. And it looks like they are gonna start getting counted out here. Bloodlust trying to free them, but it looks like they are just way too stuck to be freed. And it looks like that is going to be the end of the match. You can see Bloodlust spinning down and celebrating. Good job to them. So Bloodlust finally with their redemption arc underway. You saw how much more potent they were when they were able to drive properly. So once they start spinning up, they are quite a menace. They are very quick. They are fairly durable now. They hit really hard. It's a recipe for destruction. So I'm very excited to see this robot continue going forward. Unfortunate for Executioner, they came in, replaced Resilience, got a win, and then died immediately. But you know what? For a robot that was a reserve, just meant to be here for exhibitions, I think it did pretty well. So good job to them. They put up a good fight. They made it at least somewhat entertaining, and their match against Mishap was really good. All right, our next match is going to be Missile and Shroud. This is going to be our final match, I think, of the losers bracket again before we go to the winners bracket. So we have some pretty interesting stats here. So let's start off with Shroud. They are going with the same thing that they used last time against Seizure. They're going to just try to lift up Missile, try to flip him over. They know that Missile has to spin down that weapon occasionally to prevent overheating. So they are going to just try to use that to their advantage. They know Missile kind of slides around as well. So if they can get him from 4 wheels onto 2, they'll probably be more uncontrolled. They won't have as much pushing power. So this really is a battle of control for Shroud. Next up, we have Missile. Missile, I think they are going in with their forks this time around. They are very potent, and we know Shroud isn't the most durable robot. So Missile is looking to just overwhelm them with power and with speed. If they get flipped over, they can still drive upside down, so it's not too big of a deal for them. They're not too concerned about that. But they are just trying to find an opening to ram under Shroud and just start breaking stuff. If they can break the side, if they can break forks, they are just looking to break whatever they can. So let's see how that works out for them down at the box. All right, the robots are in the arena, and it looks like we are about to begin. We know Shroud was able to tank a good amount of hits from Seizure, so let's see how the vertical spinner of Missile can do. And already Missile getting under Shroud, but they weren't spinning up. But now it looks like they got that spinner going. You can hear it. It's very terrifying. And Shroud, they have a hold on Missile, but they actually ended up flipping themselves. But they did free Missile from being stuck under that wall. Missile does have to be... Okay! I was going to say, Missile has to be careful to not get stuck under the walls, but it looks like he's just going to move the walls instead. And it looks like Shroud getting some good opportunities to flip, but not the best opportunities. And it looks like maybe that back left wheel on the Missile is giving him drive issues. It looks like that is the case because they are kind of just circling in space, or in place. But Shroud really does have to be careful of that spinner. And it looks like Shroud has lost both of the forks trying to lift into the spinner of Mayhem. They've lost both of their lifting forks, so they can't really lift anymore. You can see the lifter only goes about as far as the head comes down. So they did get a good opportunity to lift there, but if they had those the extended forks, they might have been able to flip them all the way over. That was so close for them to get Missile over. They were over for just a second, but they actually managed to get back over. And Shroud just trying everything that they can to get Missile out the arena, just trying to make this fight as quick as possible. They really don't want to be fighting Missile for too long. Missile still fighting those drive issues. But there goes one of the forks on Shroud, and another. This could be the beginning of the end for Shroud. No forks. They're missing their lifting forks. They're missing half of their actual forks. They are trying everything now, but it looks like that head is stuck in the downward position too. It looks like they've actually picked up Missile from the fork. Alright, that head looks like it's returned to its natural position. Missile still definitely struggling with that side of drive, but Shroud not looking like it's doing much better. Both of these robots are having a lot of issues. Missile keeps trying to leave the match, but deciding last second to stay in. And it looks like they might have removed another fork from Shroud in that last exchange. Just kind of sitting in the corner. Shroud just trying to lift them, just trying to flip them. If they can stick to their plan and get Missile over, that'll be a huge help for them for the rest of the match. but it really looks like they aren't able to do so. Another good opportunity there, though, but they really just need to start doing anything because they are behind in terms of effectiveness, and aggression and control is fairly even. Mizzle trying one last time to leave, and Shroud just trying a little bit more to lift Missile, and it looks like that is going to be the end of the match. This is a very close decision, and it looks like it's going to go to Missile. So they actually did just enough damage, and were just kind of controlled enough. That opening box rush really helped them in the scorecard. So they do move on. So they will fight Bloodlust next. So sad to see Shroud go. It was a very cool design, but definitely was the first iteration of that design. It could definitely be improved upon in future versions. All right, so now we just gotta kind of keep up with where we are in terms of the tournament. So we're just gonna go through these real quick. This is the next episode. We got Blank and Spellbreak. Blank will be going with a fork configuration, Spellbreak as is. Then we have Tungsten and Phantom, two absolute rockstar rookies looking to make a name for themselves. And next we have two veterans in Catastrophe and Mayhem. These guys have fought before, but they've gotten some upgrades since then. Next, we got Squish and Pumpkin. Pumpkin tearing through the competition. Squish, kind of a brick, so it's going to be interesting to see. Next, we got Atlantis and Matador in the losers bracket. Atlantis looking like a fully refreshed robot. Matador, we'll see, I don't know. Icebreaker and Flabbergast. Icebreaker with a dominant win. Flabbergast also with a dominant win, so this is going to be an interesting fight. And Panda and Ocean Commotion, these guys are both doing very solid in their own field, so this is just them finally coming together. And of course, Bloodlust and Missile. So I believe Missile's probably going to try using that wedge, but it is interesting to see. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you see, go ahead and leave a like, maybe subscribe if you want. Also, thank you guys for 150 subscribers. That was very cool. But I will see you guys next time. See ya.